We play and call it work.
Big Mek Skarbog was in a rage. How could he lose to puny humans and the half-metal men of the Adeptus Mechanicus? The key of Mylek would have solved the energy problems he was having with his attack moon, allowing him to become a powerhouse in the sector and prove to Face Stompa his superiority over all the other Deathwatch. No matter, he would regroup. He would activate the subspace gateways found in the belly of his attack moon. He would summon forth Face Stompa's armies and send them in to crush the Imperium fleet and claim the Necron tomb world for himself, with all of the loot and pillaging that his mechs could possibly dream of. He was Skarbog, harbinger of Face Stompa and the ender of the Imperium. The Deathwatch, now leaderless with Inquisitor Rhyn missing and possibly dead from the Orc attack, decided to fall back with the key of Mylek and leave the system, seeing now the treachery of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They would need further orders after retreating back to their fortress world. For now, the most important mission would be to secure the key of Mylek and report their findings. They couldn't be sure if the Fabricator General was complicit in the attack on their ship, but their suspicions would still be strong. Also of great urgency was dealing with the rapidly dying body of Theo, who had fought bravely to the last. Surely he deserved preservation to continue serving the Emperor. As the Imperium fleet finally moved to fully engage the Necron tomb world, as well as prepare to defend against the Orc invaders, deep within the Adeptus Mechanicus flagship, the Fabricator General prepared for a new operation. Where am I?
You are in my labs, my dear Inquisitor. With the retrieval of my equipment, I am prepared to gift you something better than your wildest imaginations.
What have you done?
Do not worry. Soon you will be above petty mortality and will further our cause of experiments. You are being given a great honor. The body we have for you took us years to construct. We just needed one of strong enough will to survive the transfer.
You cannot do this.
You will thank me in time.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching the epilogue for Deathwatch Apothis. I hope that you enjoyed this narrative campaign. Luca and I definitely had a lot of fun filming it for you guys. So the question is, what's next? Well, as I've explained before in other videos, we're starting to create our own MiniWarGaming cinematic universe, for lack of a better word, MWGCU, because MCU is already taken. And Deathwatch Apothis kind of kicks that off. Now, it doesn't invalidate all the previous narrative campaigns. In fact, we're kind of bringing them all in, or at least parts of each of them. As you saw with Deathwatch Apothis, it's Inquisitor Rhyn, which is the same Inquisitor from the first two Deathwatch narrative campaigns. We brought in Big Mek Skarbog from the Deathwatch narrative campaign. And then the world of Vadarak and all the stuff that they were fighting on was from the old Warzone Apothis from almost 3 years ago now. And so we're kind of bringing that kind of feel back where we're starting to combine all of our campaigns into one epic thing. So the thing that's happening now, and you may have already started to see some battle reports go out, is called the Apothis Crusade. So while I'm prepping for the next narrative campaign, which will be with Quirk, and it's probably going to be with Harlequins as the main characters, the main protagonists, the Apothis Crusade is going to replace a lot of our regular battle reports. So normally Mondays and Fridays our Warhammer 40k battle reports go out. And a lot of those, not all of them, because we're still going to have some Horus Heresy, and we're still going to have some non-Apothis ones, depending on the armies people bring in, will be replaced by the Apothis Crusade. The Apothis Crusade details the fight between the Necrons, the Admech and the Imperium that are there, and the Orcs that are in the Apothis system, as it was told in Deathwatch Apothis. So now basically the fighting has kicked off, and the Apothis Crusade battle reports represent that fighting. So the guests can actually come in and have an influence on what happens in our narrative. So they're more loose narrative. They're not like the narrative campaign where there's this perfect sequence of events. It's more like every game will have its story, will have its narrative reason for being fought, and we're recording the results of them. And then at the end of the season, I will take a look at all those results and I will shape what happens in the MiniWarGaming cinematic universe based off of all those battle reports combined. So it's kind of a big deal. Now, in the meantime, we're working on expanding to a larger scale. So right now it's just in one system, the Apothis system. But there's two things happening right now that'll expand that. First was already started. It's the Dark Heresy Shadows Beneath role-playing game narrative or campaign that we're doing that we just started last week. And that one, which will be live streamed every Thursday starting at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and then will be available afterwards as a recording to our Vault members. That is detailing some of Inquisitor Rhyn's acolytes on another world, the world of Tyrus, as they seek out the the source of this new drug that's appeared in this penal colony that is causing a lot of problems, and they're suspecting of Xenos origins for that, which is why they are there. So that's already started, but that is actually part of the MiniWarGaming cinematic universe and will serve as a branching off point so that basically once phase 1 of Apothis Crusade is over, then the story will kind of expand. It'll take shape from what happened with the Apothis Crusade and what happens in our Dark Heresy role-playing game show, and also the Harlequin narrative campaign that'll be starting with Quirk that you'll start to see come out in the next probably 3 weeks. I would say it'll start to come out. With Adepticon coming up, it's slowing down our production schedule a little bit, but we're aiming to have it out within the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that will introduce even more story so that this universe can have ever expanding and include even more factions. Because right now the Apothis Crusade can only include Imperium, Necrons, Chaos, Tyranids, and Orcs. It can't include Tau, Eldar, Dark Eldar, Harlequins, and even some of the Imperium stuff like Grey Knights wouldn't really make sense for them to be there. But then as we expand and the war becomes bigger, and it's not necessarily one war, it's more like telling of a lot of different stories. Kind of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they have a lot of different stories, but there might be like this one central one that they lead to this grand conclusion. We're going to be doing something similar like that over the coming year, maybe 2, who knows how long this will last for. But it's going to bring in a larger narrative element to all of the things that we are doing. So you're going to see that even our regular 40K battle reports are going to be telling this narrative while still being able to be match play or narrative play or open play. And we're going to sprinkle in the occasional Apocalypse game in there too to have a bigger impact on the narrative. So that's the plan. As you may already know, I've talked about this in the past when introducing the Apothis Crusade, but that's essentially what is going on right now. And, of course, there's going to be more narrative campaigns, the Harlequin one with Quirk, but also we will be coming back to see more of the Deathwatch later on. I'm not going to tell you exactly when because we don't have an exact time slot for it. But, yeah, we're going to be wrapping all that in. And we're going to be starting to do a similar idea for our Age of Sigmar MiniWarGaming universe as well, which I am super excited for, because I'm really excited to get into Age of Sigmar. It just looks like a lot of fun, and the lore is fantastic. I've been reading lots of novels and battle tomes and all that just to get into the lore side of things, and I think it's a fantastic setting for a grand campaign, especially with the Age of Sigmar role-playing game that's been announced to come out supposedly this year, so hopefully we'll see that sometime soon, and maybe it'll become one of our role-playing game shows as well. So I'd love to get your feedback, what you thought of Deathwatch Apothis. Let me know in the comments below, and what you'd love to see, and what you're excited for, and what you think is going on. Just any comments you like. I love the feedback. I love hearing your thoughts on the matter. Even if it's constructive criticism, that's fine too. Always looking for new ideas. I do take a lot of ideas from the comments. I'm reading through them, and it sparks new ideas, and it just becomes part of the grander narrative as well. So leave your comments below what you thought of this one, what you'd like to see in future ones, any ideas you have for the MiniWarGaming Cinematic Universe, and anything else you want to tell us. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more for MiniWarGaming. Happy wargaming.